Welcome to the Meditation Realm Planeswalkers. I'm Caleb, your guide to the Blind Eternities, and in today's video we got another commander deck from March of the Machine. This time we're going through the Divine Convocation deck. If you haven't played with Convoke, it's a pretty interesting mechanic. It's basically an easy way to be able to cheat out spells and creatures. That's basically the whole focus of the deck. Check out the first new Plane Chase cards. Again, if you haven't played Plane Chase, I highly recommend giving it a shot. It might be a new version of playing Commander you'll enjoy playing more. These decks are definitely more focused towards that as far as some of the cards inside the decks as well. But there's still a lot of good cards in the 99 that are just worth playing. So our first card is this phenomenon, Reality Shaping. When you encounter reality shaping, starting with you, each player may put a permanent card from their hand onto the battlefield. Ooh, okay, so everybody cheats out something big, basically. That can suddenly blow things out or be bad for one person if you're running weenies. So, Innistrad is our first plane. We're in the town of Gavany. All creatures have vigilance, and whenever you roll chaos, when chaos ensues, creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn. And then we're on Zendikar for this one, the Hedron Fields of Agradim. Creatures with power 7 or greater can't attack or block. Excuse me. And when you roll Chaos, whenever Chaos ensues, create a 7/7 colorless Eldrazi creature token with Annihilator 1. We are on Dominaria for this one, all planes we've visited before. This is Krosa. All creatures get +2/+2, and Chaos, when Chaos ensues, you may add Wooburg. Woo! That could get crazy. Again, because you can spend mana to roll Chaos over and over. You get scaling up, but still. So now we have Innistrad for our next plane. This is the town, or country of Stensia, whatever it is. Whenever a creature deals damage to one or more players for the first time each turn, put a 1/1 counter on it. And then for Chaos, whenever Chaos ensues, each creature you control gains tap. This creature deals 1 damage to target player or planeswalker until end of turn. Okay. So it turns your dudes into Timmies. Woo, we have a plane I don't think we've visited before. This is Kylem in Valor's Reach. Whenever your team attacks with exactly 2 creatures, those creatures gain double strike until end of turn. Interesting that it says whenever your team attacks with exactly 2 creatures, those creatures gain double strike until end of turn. So I wonder if this is implying and being able to emphasize you doing 2-headed giant commander? Interesting. And then Chaos, whenever Chaos ensues, untap up to 2 target creatures your team controls. If it's a main phase, there's an additional combat phase after this phase, followed by an additional main phase. Ooh, okay, so that can get out of hand. Many extra combats. And then we're on the plane of Arcavios. This is the Strixhaven School. Instant and sorcery spells players cast have Demonstrate. And Chaos is whenever Chaos ensues, return up to 1 target instant or sorcery card from a graveyard to its owner's hand. We're on the next plane of Ontasia. Never been here, I don't believe. The Fertile Lands of Solvinia. Whenever a player taps a land for mana, that player has 1 mana of any type that land produced, so mana ramp plane. And whenever Chaos ensues, reveal cards on the top of your planar deck until you reveal a plane card. Chaos ensues on that plane, then put all cards revealed on this way on the bottom of your planar deck in any order. Interesting, so you stay on the plane, but you flip over and do whatever the Chaos is for that next plane. That could be a lot of fun. Here's one we haven't been to as well, the plane of Acquire. Yeah, I don't think we've been to this one. The Enigma Ridges. Whenever you planeswalk to the Enigma Ridges, each player who controls fewer lands and the player who controls the most lands searches their library for a number of basic land cards less than or equal to the difference, reveals them, puts them into their hand, and then shuffles. And when Chaos ensues, draw a card, then you put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. Okay. It's an interesting one. And then, ooh, here's a nice new one, the Plane of New Phyrexia. This is Norn Seed Core. When you planeswalk to Norn Seed Core, Chaos ensues. Okay, so it just immediately ensues Chaos. And whenever Chaos ensues, reveal cards from the top of your planar deck until you reveal a plane card. Planeswalk to it, except don't planeswalk away from the plane. Put the rest of the revealed cards on the bottom of your planar deck in any order. Interesting. So yeah, planeswalk to it, except don't planeswalk away from any plane. Put the rest of the revealed cards on the bottom of your planar deck in any order. So this stays there. You planeswalk to it, so you get the when you planeswalk to it effect, and then you put them on the bottom of your library. This one, I gotta look up the ruling for this one for playing. That's kind of interesting. Looks like it could be a lot of fun, or maybe I'm just being confused by it because I haven't played Plane Chase in so long. And then we've got our collector sample pack here. We'll open that at the end. Those have added a lot of value, actually. I highly recommend, with these newer commander decks, they add so much. It's quite a nice bonus to get in these if you want to pick up new commander decks. The collector booster samples, and these ones in particular, having these Plane Chase cards is another nice little bonus. It's got the usual deck for it. Looks like it's got several of the inserts that people like to use. This one's only got 1/1 counters, which I guess kind of makes sense. What color is the dice for this one? Ooh, we got a green dice in this one. Yeah, this is more... You have a dark green, like maybe a jade. So yeah, it looks like all the dice are different colors for the most part from these decks. At least there's a little variety in that. That's cool. And then let's check out the commanders. Going Jeskai for this, or, blue, red, white for those who haven't been around to see that plane. Kozla, the Broken Halo, is the face of the deck. It's a legendary angel ally for 3, a blue, a red, and a white. It's got Convoke with Flying, Vigilance, and Haste. And whenever you cast another spell that has Convoke, scry 2, then draw a card. Yeah, that guy can be a lot of card advantage right there. And it's a big body. 5/4 Flying, Vigilance, Haste. Gets aggressive. And then the other one is Saint Traft and Rem Carlos. I think I'm pronouncing that? Carlos. Blue, red, white. 3/4. Whenever the Saint Traft and Rem Carlos becomes tapped, create a 1/1 red human creature token. If this is the first time this ability has resolved this turn, if it's the second time, create a 1/1 blue spirit creature token with flying. If it's the third time, create a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying. Whenever you cast a spell that has Convoke, untap Saint Traft and Rem. Okay, so you use him to continuously Convoke guys out, and then he untaps himself. So he's basically kind of a Convoke mana dork. Interesting. And then you're going to treat him as a Convoke mana dork because he'll untap, and then you'll get extra tokens, which you'll be able to Convoke for other spells. He actually could be a lot of fun. I like that. And then we got, this is always a good card. It's not necessarily Convoking, but, it's a free card. When Cloud of Fairies into battlefield, on top of 2 lands. Nice to get some of these decent cards that are, they're a little more combo-oriented, but still nice cards in the commander deck. Again, this has been included in every planar deck so far, so it just seems like it is. And again, if you don't have one and you like playing Plane Chase, definitely make sure you play this. Let's see where our new rares are. So far, we just got reprint commons and uncommons. If I recall, Impact Tremors was a little expensive, too, at common for a while. It does do a lot of work. It's like a mini Perforos. Alright. Going through a lot of reprints here. But, lots of uncommons, too. Let's see, where's our first rare? I recall the other decks had them up front. It seems to switch up on this one, but decent land bases. I haven't. Skull Clample. Hey, here's our first decent uncommon. Alright, here's our first rare of the card from one of the new ones. Wand of the World Soul. It's an artifact. It costs 2 and a white. It enters the battlefield tap. It's a mana rock. You can tap it to add white. Or you can tap it. The next spell you cast this turn has Convoke. So, it's not the best mana ramp, obviously. It's a 3-drop mana rock that enters the battlefield tapped. However, given the next spell you cast this turn, Convoke, it can be a very powerful effect in a token deck, because then you can just turn all of your tokens basically into mana dorks that turn and cheat out a big spell. So, hypothetically, you're able to cheat out multiple spells each turn by casting spells that create tokens that don't normally have Convoke. This, I could definitely see this scene play. It'll be interesting to how it works out, especially because, again, it comes into play tapped. It doesn't do anything the turn it comes in as a 3-drop mana rock. But we'll see. Next, we have a Spirit. This is Flock Chaser Phantom. It's a 5/5 for 4 blue and a white. It has Convoke. It's got Flying and Vigilance. And whenever it attacks, the next spell you cast this turn is Convoke. So another way to make your spells Convoke that don't already have them. We have Wildfire Awakener. It's a human wizard 3/2 that costs X1 red and white. It has Convoke, and when it enters the battlefield, create X1/1 red elemental creature tokens with whenever this creature becomes tapped, it deals 1 damage to target player. Okay, so you can tap him or Convoke him and put a bunch into X and create a bunch of elemental tokens that also you can use to Convoke and cast other spells. And okay, I like this guy because then those tokens just be able to deal damage to, well, it's only players, but still, that's damage. The Ichor Elixir is that mana rock that's been in every deck as well. We have Path of the Ghost Hunter. It's a sorcery for X1 and a white. Create X1/1 white spirit creature tokens with flying. And with Will the Planeswalker, starting with you, each player votes for Planeswalk Chaos. If Planeswalk gets more votes, Planeswalk. If Chaos gets more votes or his vote is tied, Chaos ensues. Yeah, I definitely say this is one of the weaker ones of the Will of the Planeswalker cycle. Spending 3 mana to create 1/1/1 flying token is not very good. I mean, yeah. And then, for X, putting into it, yeah, I don't think this one's the best, but, that Will of the Planeswalker's effect in and of itself is a good card for if you're playing Plane Chase, but definitely, I think, maybe the weakest of the cycle. Which is not surprising for white. We have Deluxe Dragster. It's a vehicle for 4 and a blue. It can't be blocked except by other vehicles. And whenever a Deluxe Dragster deals combat damage to a player, you may cast target instant or sorcery card from that player's graveyard without paying its mana cost. If that spell be put into a graveyard, exile instead. And it has Crew 2. It's 4/3. Okay. Interesting. Not terrible. And then now we're down to some of the reprints. Mist Metal Vanisher, Nesting Dovehawk, Kaikar. This guy used to be a pretty consistent commander for a lot of people. And he's a great way to make more of those tokens to be able to Convoke. Elspeth, nice. She's a good, very good Planeswalker. This is the OG WinCon for Standard a while back. Big bomb that makes tokens and wipes the board, and that emblem ends the game once you've got several tokens on board. Locust God's another guy that's a great commander and can just end the game by himself. And then, several other good rares here. Finally, at the rare portion of where everything is. Austere Command's always a decent board wipe, although now it's eclipsed by, oh gosh, what's that, the Finality that came out? Gosh, I'm blanking on the card's name. There was that better board wipe that just came out recently for 6. That's so much better. Cultivator's Caravan, Mirror Angel, Exotic Orchard. And then some of the decent rare lands to be able to, play your spells. Again, I think they've been doing a lot better on mana bases recently, which is good because, if you can't play the deck, it's not really a lot of fun. Especially when you're playing 3 or more colors, it can be hard to, consistently see your mana if they don't do a good mana base. And they definitely did a lot better this time. Whirlwind of Thought. This card is good, but can get you too, because it's not a May on that draw. And sometimes, when you're getting low after you've drawn a lot already, and some of the easy takeouts here. There are a lot of uncommons in this deck that I feel are going to be easy replacements for your strategy because, yes, they may have Convoke, but, you're not going to want to run Cut Short. Yeah, that's going to cut you short of good cards. This deck definitely might be the weakest of the whole set. I guess I haven't gone through them all yet, but definitely on the common and uncommon side, there was definitely a weaker sense of cards. I feel like this one, just playing out of the box, might not be the strongest upon first evaluation. Let me know if you get a chance to play with it, and if you got to crush your opponents who played the other ones. But that being said, let's take a look at what we get in the sample pack. Again, these are hit and miss. They're samples. It's like any other pack, but the fact that you can get some sweet stuff in these samples is pretty awesome. And just the fact that they include it, it's a nice little bonus that adds a random, and that randomness can add additional value. And we got a rare. We got Baral and Kari Sev. It's not foil, but it's in a showcase form from Kaladesh. I was trying to think of the plane there for a second. And again, everybody loves this art. The Ragavan that's in this art frame is super popular right now, which is understandable because, Ragavan is an amazing creature. It does so much work in every format. It's basically the best one-drop ever. And we got Yargle in the showcase Dominaria frame. It's funny that the Yargle and Moltani is a creature. It's like the biggest creature, basically attack power-wise, has been printed to date, 18 power. Pretty easy to be able to blow that guy away with other ways and just fling. I'm looking forward to throwing him in a deck and doing exactly that. I'm just flinging Yargle at people. Thank you for joining me, Planeswalkers. Always glad to have you here. If you haven't already, like, share, subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you here on the next video.